or even some of our facilities. And I know there's been, that discussion in the past, but I've never been in a part of that discussion. But it'd be nice to be able to leverage some of the town resources. If we're contributing to the well-being of the ACC, it'd be nice to be able to see what other ways that we can help in terms of marketing. Another thing that I think is an eye-opening thing for me is KPIs isn't just the number of people that go in the building, but it's also, as it was mentioned many times, is the number of volunteers, and you can't put a figure next to the hundreds of volunteers that volunteer at the ACC. But when you look at the numbers, when you see the huge 805% and 622% with respect to revenues, varying category of revenues, and that's a huge increase over 6 years. So I don't see the town contribution as a charitable gift or anything like that. It's really it's leveraging and growing that revenue base as well. And it seems like in order to continue that revenue, you need to invest in it. So thank you very much for all that you guys do, and thank you for the board and everyone, because when I have a lot of acquaintances and friends who after work they just sit on their couch and watch TV, but when I see a lot of these directors and volunteers who do that extra from their own spare time, it's truly commendable. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's very impressive, all the work that has been done, and the contribution to the community. I especially like the support of the local businesses. As a council, we're not allowed to show favoritism, yes. But I guess you are. I'm having trouble with this, as I guess you are. You're in the 3rd year of a Trillium grant. You're losing a very special person who, as you said, has put a lot of irons in the fire, but she's leaving in May. And you've taken 1/6 of your contingency fund out to cover the deficit. So how are you going to manage going forward?
Well, this is where our strategic plan is crucial to us at this time. But we do predict continued growth in our programming revenue, in our earned revenues, and we're forever hopeful that someone will see the light and we'll end up with, well, not end up with it, but our hard work will result in some new operating funds being made available to us through perhaps the Ontario Arts Council, Canadian Arts Council, other government agencies, and we're working hard and have had several meetings downtown, again, without having much of a track record. We're a very new entity, and we do something very unique. And this is the beautiful thing of the Cultural Centre, and its challenge, too, that we are a very unique entity, and it's requiring this type of work, but we're working very hard, and we do have 5 years of relationship building behind us now, so that will do us well. And our word of mouth is growing every day, and if we could succeed in getting a sign on our front lawn and a sign on Yonge Street and Wellington to direct people to us, would have a huge impact for us.
Thank you. I think that's something that all of Council would be interested in doing. Okay, it worries me, but thank you for the continued hard effort, and as far as us letting you use the beautiful Church Street School, I'd say thank you for using it so well.
Thank you.
Councillor Abel.
Well, thank you very much, and Laura, it's always a pleasure to have you here. We've come a long way from my first year in the first term, and when you were just starting, and the relationship between the Cultural Centre and the town, the oversight that is provided now is very valuable and going forward, and it works very well. You have tremendous reporting metrics here, and you're to be congratulated on winning an award last year for your financial presentation, which is outstanding. So you don't get any better oversight than that. It gives great faith when we go forward with all the other metrics and KPIs that you present, and I appreciate all those as well. I think one of the valuable things that you planted and it will reap is your involvement with the youth, and specifically the art exhibits that you have developed over the last 4 years with all the schools coming in. It's one of the best fabulous events. And then, of course, there was a program that we did with the Heritage Advisory Committee 2 years ago. It was a town initiative, but I was there for the presentation, and it was the I think it was the grade schools on the east side of Bayview from Hartmut. And each of them had to come into the cultural precinct area and pick a heritage landmark and then draw art and speak about it. And I walked around, and the pride and the knowledge that each of these students showed when they drew their picture. Some of them were sculptures, some of them were photographs, but they took ownership of it. And this is sort of the awareness that we need to do to bring people in. So there is a role for the town to play and assist in this as well. I have always been trying to encourage, perhaps critical at times, of your fundraising and thinking that it can be easier, but you have so much you can do with your resources. And appreciate that it takes time. And it's very competitive out there. Our own town is we're going to be celebrating Canadian Tire sponsoring one of our pools. And I mean, that would be great if we could kind of say, hey, and by the way, and tell others. So I think there's a role for us to do as well in that. It's almost like we're competing with you and then coming here before council and saying you're not doing enough. That's got to be very difficult and a huge challenge going forward. I do want to comment, everything else in my mind is just a reason to celebrate what you do. The role that the engagement that you provide for our community is outstanding. And I'm in full support of everything that you brought forward here today. And I think, again, that there's a role for us to play and get involved. We can't do it all for you, but some fundraising, your political leaders can help and do things. So I encourage that we engage in some of those talks. I just wanted to highlight the music aspect of what you do at the Aurora Cultural Center. When you say it's a venue, I mean, I've enjoyed several of the concerts, and there's so many I haven't seen. But you know, some people, I was there at a pop-up performance with the Aurora Winter Blues Festival, who you partner with, and you partner with the art galleries and showcasing, and so everyone in the venue said it was great, but the musicians that are playing there, I was saying, this is the Massey Hall of Aurora, and they really think it's really spectacular. And so I think what you're doing with the youth and the music and the art, that will reap as we go forward, the engagement we can partner and help you with. And so I am in support of your ask and commend your board and your staff for all the work they do. I know it's very tough, and you don't operate just business hours. You're working weekends and you're working evenings, and how you stretch that all there is to be commended. There was just this weekend someone that we encouraged through the Aurora Winter Blues Festival to do a music launch. Her name is Bernadette Connors, an outstanding up-and-coming musician, and she said she was overwhelmed with, and I just received from her the news that she just thought it was fantastic. Sold out, and everyone that was there was like, this is an amazing place. So it really is a treasure that we have here in Aurora. Thank you.
Councilor Maracus. Oh, Councilor Tom, then Councilor Maracus.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thanks, Laura, and to the members of the board that have come out, and I appreciate the presentation, and I think most of the comments that have come out from around the table have been very positive, and certainly something that the board can be proud of, because the center truly is providing great value to the community And I'm encouraged by some of both the longstanding members of the board and some of the new members of the board that have come on more recently with respect to fundraising, and they're coming up with new ideas and looking at increasing fundraising from our corporate partners in town, and really looking to get that going, and it's very exciting to see. And I wanted to touch on, just very briefly, Councillor Abel mentioned it. I think it's one of the great programs that, quite frankly, in the entire town that is run is that high school art shows that the center partners with local high schools and getting high school students artwork into the cultural center, but it's more than that. It's about learning how to curate and learning how to put shows on, and it's a real practical experience for our youth and partnering with the high schools. And I think it's just one of the great programs that the center does, and certainly one of many. So thanks very much for coming.
Councillor Tom, Councillor Marcus, Councillor Humphries.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And through you to Laura, just quickly, I forgot to mention this. I noticed in the presentation that says you're going to be partnering, well, the center's going to be partnering with the Aurora Historical Society. I'm just wondering, are you also going to be exploring more opportunities to partner and work together with the Historical Society and possibly the library? Is what we're going to be looking at moving forward?
Always. We have a well-established group of organically connected organizations that have a long history now, well, in terms of our livelihood, of partnering together, and yes, we do, and we look forward to that and others. Partnerships, I think all these organizations will all agree, are a driving force behind what we do and open up so many new opportunities for us. So we love to partner, and we look forward to many fruitful partnerships.
And definitely, and that's great to hear. And because I think when everyone can get together and work together, you'll realize some other potentials that
Yes.
maybe weren't realized on your own. So I think it's great to hear that, and it's great moving forward that way. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Laura, thank you very much for coming. Definitely appreciate you and the members of your board coming out, and for all the work that you do. And I'll continue to put my plug in for the high school shows, which are really quite they're always such a fascinating, fabulous show. The talent of these kids is truly amazing. And I also want to thank you for the other report that you submitted, and with the overview you presented tonight, and then the more detailed report in here, especially with the KPIs. I think it's very gratifying to me, anyways, to see the numbers I think should be going the right way are, and other things. So it looks like you're achieving a pretty good balance as to where you are and the work that you're doing. So thank you very much for the effort, and certainly thank you for the joy you bring to our town. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Council,
very
all in
much.
favor of receipt, please. Contrary? That's carried. Thank you very much. Council, if we could just take a 5-minute break, please. Councillor Marcus, Councillor Thompson, all in favor? Carried. Thank you. We'll be right back. We just have some business to take care of. Being last is not easy.